Hello and welcome to English Polar. If you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can receive notifications for new videos. Today we are going to talk about something very special and very important: the psychology of English fluency. When we learn English, most people think it is only about words, grammar, or pronunciation. But the truth is, fluency is not only in your mouth, it starts in your mind. Fluency is not just speaking fast. It is about thinking clearly, feeling confident, and understanding how your brain connects ideas in English. In this video, we will explore how your thoughts, emotions, and daily habits control your English progress. We will talk about how to remove fear, build confidence, and train your brain to think in English naturally. So sit back, relax, and let's begin the journey to understand the psychology behind English fluency. Let's start with the most common problem. Many English learners say, "I understand English, but I can't speak." Have you ever said that too? Maybe you listen to songs, movies, or lessons, and you can understand almost everything. But when you try to speak, your mind goes blank. You can't find the right words, or your tongue doesn't move fast enough. You feel nervous, and suddenly, all the English you know disappears. This happens not because you are bad at English. It happens because your brain feels fear. When we speak in a second language, our brain feels like we are taking a risk. We are afraid of mistakes, afraid of how people will judge us, afraid of sounding strange. This fear stops your brain from working smoothly. Imagine you are driving a car and someone suddenly shouts at you. You get nervous, your hands shake, and you can't focus on the road. The same thing happens when you feel nervous speaking English. Your brain focuses on fear, not on words. So the first step in the psychology of fluency is to calm your mind. You must train your brain to feel safe when speaking English. You must tell yourself that mistakes are okay. Mistakes are part of learning. Every fluent speaker once made hundreds of mistakes. When you change your mindset, your brain will start to relax. You will start to speak without thinking too much. Think about children. When they learn their first language, they don't worry about grammar or pronunciation. They just speak, repeat, and copy. They make many mistakes, but they don't care. Because of that, they become fluent fast. But adults think too much. We analyze, we judge, we compare ourselves with others. That overthinking is the biggest block to fluency. So here's your first mental exercise. Every day, tell yourself, it's okay to make mistakes. I am learning. I am growing. Say it again and again until your mind starts to believe it. Let's understand how your brain stores and uses language. Your brain has two systems, the conscious system and the automatic system. The conscious system is when you think about grammar, structure, or spelling. The automatic system is when you speak without thinking, like when you say thank you or how are you. Fluency means moving more language from the conscious system to the automatic system. But this only happens when you practice in a relaxed way, not a stressful way. Think about when you first learned to ride a bicycle. At first, you were scared and careful. You looked at the pedals, the handle, and you told yourself, now I turn left, now I stop. But after some time, your body started to remember automatically. You didn't think about every move, you just rode the bike. Fluency works the same way. To train your brain this way, you must listen, repeat, and speak without worrying too much about correctness. The more natural your practice feels, the faster your brain creates strong connections. Now, let's talk about fear in more detail. Fear of speaking is not only about words, It's about your self-image. You want to look smart, you want to sound perfect, you want people to understand you. But sometimes, that desire for perfection becomes a wall. You start to wait for the perfect moment to speak, the perfect sentence to use, and that moment never comes. You must accept that fluency is not perfection. Fluency is communication. If the listener understands you, you are already successful. Here's a secret many fluent speakers know. Fluency grows faster when you stop trying to be perfect. When you stop judging yourself, your brain becomes free to experiment, and learning becomes fun. Another part of the psychology of fluency is emotion. Our emotions strongly affect memory and learning. When you feel happy, excited, or curious, your brain remembers faster. When you feel bored, scared, or stressed, your brain blocks new information. That's why learning English through things you enjoy, like music, videos, or interesting topics, is very powerful. If you enjoy what you listen to, your brain keeps that memory longer. Try to connect English with positive emotions. For example, listen to English songs that make you feel good. Watch movies that inspire you. Talk to friends who make you feel safe when you speak English. The more positive emotions you connect with English, the more your brain will love learning it. This is one of the strongest psychological secrets of fluency. Let's go deeper into how your brain thinks in English. When you learn new words, you often translate them into your native language. At first, that's okay. But over time, translation becomes a problem. Because when you speak, your brain must first find the word in your language, then translate it to English, then check grammar, all in 1 second. That's too slow. To become fluent, you must train your brain to think directly in English. That means when you see a cat, your mind says cat, not the word in your own language. This can sound difficult, but it's not. It just needs daily training. Here's a simple way to start. Describe your world in English quietly in your mind. For example, when you walk, think, I am walking to school. When you eat, think, this food is delicious. When you look outside, think, the sky is blue today. These small thoughts in English train your brain to connect English words directly with real experiences. You can also try short shadowing exercises. Listen to a short audio clip or video in English. Then try to speak at the same time as the speaker. Don't worry about mistakes or speed. This connects your brain's listening and speaking areas, helping you think and speak in English faster. Now, let's talk about confidence. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build every day. You build it by doing small actions that prove you can. For example, if you record yourself speaking for 1 minute today, you will feel proud. Tomorrow, do it for 2 minutes. Every small success makes your brain feel stronger. The psychology behind confidence is simple. When your brain sees proof that you can do something, it starts to believe in you. So, give your brain proof every day. Even one small step counts. Remember, your goal is progress, not perfection. Now, another thing that blocks fluency is negative thinking. Thoughts like, my English is bad, or I'll never be fluent, can destroy your motivation. Your brain listens to your thoughts like a student listens to a teacher. If you tell it negative things, it will start to believe them. So, change your internal language. Instead of saying, I can't speak, say, I am learning to speak. Instead of saying, my English is poor, say, my English is improving every day. These small changes create a big shift in your psychology. You see, language is not just about vocabulary, it's about identity. When you start to see yourself as someone who can speak English, your behavior starts to follow that belief. Let's look at motivation. Motivation comes in two types: external and internal. External motivation is when you learn English for a job, a test, or travel. Internal motivation is when you learn because you love expressing yourself, connecting with people, or growing as a person. Both are good, but internal motivation is stronger. Because when you learn for yourself, you never lose interest. When you enjoy the process, you don't feel tired or bored. To build internal motivation, ask yourself, why do I want to be fluent? Write your reason on paper. Maybe it's to connect with people, to explore the world, or to learn new ideas. Keep that reason in your mind every day. Now let's talk about patience. Many learners give up because they want fast results. But fluency is like growing a tree. You water it every day, you give it light, and slowly it grows strong. You cannot see the growth every day, but it is happening. Every time you listen, read, or speak, even a little, you are building fluency. So be patient with yourself. You are not slow. You are growing at your own natural speed. There's also a secret about repetition. The more you repeat something, the more your brain remembers it automatically. That's why daily practice is more powerful than long but rare study sessions. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference if you do it regularly. Your brain loves patterns and habits. When you repeat, your brain says, "This must be important," and it stores it deeply. Now let's discuss environment. Your environment shapes your psychology. If you are surrounded by people who speak English, you naturally become comfortable. But if you don't live in an English-speaking country, don't worry. You can create your own English environment. Change your phone language to English. Watch English videos. Think in English. Even talk to yourself in English. Your environment is not only physical, it's mental. You can live anywhere and still live inside English. Let's talk about comparison. Many learners feel discouraged when they compare themselves to others. They see someone speaking fluently and think, "I'll never be like them." But remember, you are seeing their result, not their process. You don't see the hours they spent learning, the mistakes they made, or the times they wanted to quit. Your journey is your own. The only person you should compare yourself to is your past self. Are you better than you were last month? Last year? That's progress. Let's talk about mindset again. The right mindset is more important than grammar or vocabulary, because your mindset decides how you react when you face problems. If your mindset is, "I can learn anything," every mistake becomes a lesson. If your mindset is, "I'm bad at English," every mistake becomes proof of failure. Change your mindset, and your learning will change too. Start telling yourself every morning, "I am becoming fluent in English." Say it with belief. Even if you don't feel fluent yet, you are building that belief. Your brain will start to follow your words. Another psychological point is identity connection. When you start learning English, you are not just learning a skill. You are becoming a person who can communicate in another language. That means your brain is creating a new version of you, the English-speaking you. At first, this new identity feels strange. You might feel shy or your voice might sound different. But the more you practice, the stronger that identity becomes. Soon, you will feel comfortable being your English self. Some learners say, "I feel like a different person when I speak English." That's true, and that's beautiful. It means your brain is expanding. You are learning not only a language, but also new ways of thinking and feeling. So, celebrate that. You are not losing your native self. You are adding a new one. Let's also understand how to deal with frustration. Sometimes you study hard but feel no improvement. This is normal. Learning is not a straight line. Some days you feel amazing, some days you feel lost. In psychology, this is called the learning curve. There are moments of fast progress and moments of silence. In the silent moments, your brain is still working. It is organizing, connecting, and building new pathways. So don't quit in those quiet times. That's when real growth happens inside you. Now let's talk about your inner voice, that voice in your head that says, "You can't do it," or "You will make a mistake." You must learn to talk back to that voice. When it says, "I can't," say, "Yes, I can," step by step. When it says, "I'm too slow," say, "I'm learning at my own pace." Your inner voice can be your best teacher or your biggest enemy. Train it to support you. Next, let's talk about daily habits. Fluency grows in small daily actions. You don't need long hours every day. You need consistency. Even 5 minutes of speaking or listening daily is better than one long session a week, because your brain learns better through short, regular contact. Make English part of your routine, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone. Now, another part of fluency psychology is imagination. When you imagine yourself speaking English confidently, your brain activates the same areas as when you actually speak. This means visualization can train your brain even before you speak. So every night, close your eyes and imagine yourself having a fluent conversation. See yourself smiling, speaking clearly, understanding everything. Your brain will start to believe it's real. This belief will slowly become confidence, and confidence will turn into real fluency. Let's end this chapter with a simple but powerful truth. Fluency begins in your mind, not your mouth. When your thoughts become calm, positive, and confident, your English becomes fluent naturally. Every time you feel afraid, remember this. Fluency is not about being perfect. It's about expressing who you are. It's about connection, not perfection. Keep going. Keep believing. Your brain is learning every moment you try. You are already on the path to fluency. Chapter 2. The Psychology of English Fluency. Now that you understand that fluency begins in your mind, let's go deeper into how your daily thinking shapes your ability to speak English easily. Every thought you repeat becomes a habit. Every habit you keep becomes a part of your identity. So the way you think about English every day creates the kind of speaker you become. When you say, "I'm not good at English," your brain starts to act like it's true. When you say, "I'm improving every day," your brain starts to work harder to make it true. This is not magic. This is psychology. Your words have power because your brain listens to them as commands. That's why it's important to build a positive mental environment. Your English environment is not only outside of you, it's also inside your head. If your thoughts are kind, patient, and strong, your learning will grow faster. If your thoughts are full of fear, stress, or doubt, your learning will slow down. So let's begin to shape your inner world for English fluency. Start by creating a small daily affirmation routine. Affirmations are positive sentences you tell yourself to train your brain. Here are some examples. I am confident when I speak English. English is becoming natural for me. I enjoy learning English every day. I express myself clearly in English. Say these sentences in the morning or before you study. At first, you may feel strange or shy, but your brain doesn't care about feelings. It listens to repetition. If you repeat something enough, your mind accepts it as truth. The next part of your psychological training is focus. In the modern world, our attention is very short. We look at many things, but focus on none. But fluency needs focus. When you listen, truly listen. Don't just hear the words, feel them. Notice how the speaker moves their mouth, how they connect sounds. When you speak, focus only on the message, not on grammar, because your brain can't do two things perfectly at the same time. It can't think deeply about grammar and speak naturally at once. Fluency means trusting that your practice has already trained your grammar enough. Let go of the need to control every word. When you relax and focus on meaning, your sentences will come naturally. Now, let's talk about a common block: overcorrection. Many learners want to fix every mistake immediately. While correction is important, overcorrection creates stress. If you stop after every sentence to fix yourself, your brain loses flow. So here's a good rule. When you practice speaking, don't correct yourself in the middle. Just keep talking. Let the words come out. After you finish speaking, you can review what you said and make corrections. This trains your brain to think and speak smoothly. Let's understand another psychological factor: the power of curiosity. Curiosity makes learning natural. Children learn fast because they are curious about everything. They don't study to pass a test, they study to explore. If you want to become fluent, try to bring curiosity back into your learning. Ask questions like, what does this word really mean? How do native speakers use this in daily life? What other ways can I say this sentence? When you become curious, learning stops feeling like work and starts feeling like discovery. And when you enjoy discovery, your brain opens up and remembers better. Now let's talk about emotional connection again. Your brain connects strong emotions with strong memories. That's why you remember songs or movie lines that made you laugh or cry, but you forget boring textbook examples quickly. To use this psychology in your English learning, try to feel something when you learn. When you read a sentence, imagine it. When you hear a new word, use it in a sentence about your real life. Make every word part of your story. For example, if you learn the word hope, think about what you hope for. Say to yourself, I hope to speak English fluently soon. That emotion makes your memory stronger. Now let's explore self-image. Your self-image is how you see yourself as a person. If your self-image is, I'm bad at languages, you will act in ways that prove it. But if your self-image is, I'm becoming fluent, your behavior will change too. This is because your mind always wants to stay consistent with your self-image. It doesn't like conflict between what you believe and what you do. So, start building a new image of yourself, the fluent version of you. Imagine how that version of you stands, talks, listens, and smiles. See yourself ordering coffee in English, talking to friends, or giving your opinion confidently. The more you imagine that version, the more your brain starts to believe it's real. And once it believes, it starts helping you act that way. Now, let's talk about something called the silent period. Every learner experiences a stage when they can understand English but can't speak well yet. That's normal. It's not failure. It's part of brain training. During this time, your brain is collecting data. It is observing patterns, learning rhythm, and building internal models of English. When it's ready, it will start producing naturally. So don't force speaking too early if your brain is still silent. Keep listening and thinking in English. The words will come when your brain feels ready. But when you do start speaking, remember to speak out loud often. Your mouth muscles also need training. You are not only training your brain but also your tongue, lips, and jaw. They must learn the rhythm and sound of English. At first, it will feel strange, but that's just your body learning something new. Now, let's understand another secret of fluency: rhythm and tone. Fluency is not only about words, It's about flow. English has a special rhythm. It moves like music. Native speakers don't speak word by word. They connect sounds together like a melody. If you focus only on individual words, your English may sound slow and broken. To sound fluent, you must feel the rhythm. You can train this by repeating short phrases you hear in movies or videos. Don't just copy the words. Copy the sound, the music, the emotion. This is how actors learn accents, and it's also how your brain learns natural speech. Now let's go back to fear, the most powerful emotion that blocks fluency. Many learners say, "I understand, but I'm afraid to speak." Fear can come from different sources: fear of being judged, fear of forgetting words, or fear of sounding funny. But let's look at fear differently. Fear is not your enemy. It's a sign that you care. It means you want to do well. But instead of fighting fear, learn to work with it. When you feel nervous before speaking English, take a deep breath and say to yourself, "It's okay to be nervous. I'm learning." Then focus on your message, not your feelings. The more you speak, the smaller your fear becomes, because your brain learns by experience. Every time you speak and survive the fear, your brain realizes it's safe. This is called desensitization in psychology. It means your brain slowly stops reacting with fear to something it once feared. So, don't wait for fear to disappear before you speak. Speak with fear. Speak even if your voice shakes. That's how you become free. Let's now talk about small victories. Learning English is a long journey. If you only celebrate big results, like passing a test or getting fluent, you will feel tired quickly. But if you celebrate small wins, like understanding a new word, finishing a video, or having a short conversation, your brain will stay motivated. Each small victory gives your brain a dose of dopamine, a chemical that makes you feel good. This feeling keeps you learning more. So, make a habit of celebrating small progress. You can say to yourself, "I did great today," or "I spoke better than yesterday." This keeps your psychology positive and strong. Now let's look at another mental skill. Focus on progress, not perfection. When you aim for perfection, you never feel satisfied. But when you aim for progress, you feel proud every day. Progress is the secret to long-term motivation. If today you know one more word than yesterday, that's progress. If today you feel less afraid, that's progress too. Keep a small notebook to write your daily progress. It helps your mind see that you are improving. Sometimes your improvement is invisible, but it's real. Now let's discuss energy. Your brain learns better when your body feels good. Sleep, food, and movement affect your learning speed. If you are tired, your brain can't focus. If you are stressed, it forgets faster. That's why part of fluency psychology is taking care of your physical energy too. Before studying English, try to relax your body. Breathe slowly for 1 minute. Drink some water. Smile. Your body will send signals of calm to your brain, and your learning will become smoother. Now let's explore another deep idea. Flow state. Flow is when you are so focused and happy doing something that you forget time. When you are in flow, learning feels easy and fast. You can reach flow by choosing tasks that are just a little difficult, not too easy, not too hard. If it's too easy, you'll get bored. If it's too hard, you'll feel anxious. But when it's in the middle, your brain feels excited and challenged. That's the perfect zone for fluency growth. Try to notice when you feel flow while learning English. Maybe while watching a show, listening to music, or speaking with a friend. That's your sweet spot. Spend more time there. Now, let's talk about community. Language is social. It grows best when you share it. Even if you study alone, try to connect with others. Join an English group online, find a speaking partner, or comment in English on social media. When you communicate with real people, your brain learns faster. Because conversation gives feedback, it makes learning emotional, real, and meaningful. Even if you don't have partners, you can practice speaking to yourself. You can say your thoughts out loud in English. Describe what you are doing, or tell your day's story. This is a simple but powerful way to stay active in the language. Now, let's go deeper into the topic of patience again. Your mind will sometimes say, "I'm not improving." But improvement is not always visible every day. Sometimes you are planting seeds that will grow later. You may not see progress this week, but next month, suddenly you'll realize you can understand more. That's how the brain works, slowly, quietly, and then all at once. So, trust the process. Even when you feel stuck, your brain is building invisible connections. Don't give up during the quiet times. That's when your brain is preparing a big step forward. Let's also talk about flexibility. Fluent speakers are flexible. They can change words, adapt, and express meaning in many ways. You don't need to know every word. You just need to express your idea in another way. For example, if you forget the word angry, you can say, "I feel bad and want to shout." Communication continues. That's fluency, not perfect words, but continuous communication. So, train your brain to think, how else can I say this? This keeps you confident even when you forget a word. Now, another psychological point, kindness to yourself. Many learners are too hard on themselves. They say, "I should be better," or "I'm so stupid." But this negative voice makes learning slow, because the brain cannot grow under stress and shame. So, speak to yourself kindly. Say, "I'm learning," or "I'm doing my best." Be the teacher you wish you had, patient, kind, and encouraging. Your mind listens to every word you say about yourself. If you speak with kindness, you'll learn faster and enjoy more. Now, let's look at the importance of rest. Rest is not wasting time. It's part of learning. When you rest, your brain organizes the new information you learned. If you study without rest, your brain gets tired and forgets easily. So, take short breaks during study. Walk, stretch, or just breathe. Your brain will return stronger and ready to absorb more. Let's now talk about visualization again, because it's a very powerful mental tool. Before sleeping, imagine yourself in a conversation. Picture yourself using English naturally. Feel the confidence, hear your own voice, see people smiling and understanding you. This trains your mind in a very deep way, because your brain doesn't know the difference between real practice and imagined practice. Both create similar neural connections. Now, let's talk about long-term mindset. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. Even native speakers keep learning new words all their lives, so don't wait for a finish line. Enjoy the journey. Every day you spend learning English, you are expanding your world. You are building bridges to new people, cultures, and ideas. That is something to be proud of. So, walk this path with joy. Let learning be something you love, not something you fear. And remember, English fluency is not only about language, it's about transformation. You are training your mind to think differently, to connect deeply, and to express freely. That's the real gift of learning English. So, keep your mind open, your heart calm, and your attitude positive. You are growing more fluent every day, even if you don't notice it yet. Chapter 3. The Psychology of English Fluency. Now that you understand how your emotions, beliefs, and habits affect your English, let's go even deeper. In this part, we will explore how your lifestyle, attention, and long-term thinking build real fluency step by step. Fluency is not something you suddenly get one day. It grows quietly, like a tree. Every word you hear, every sentence you speak, every thought you think in English becomes part of that growth. So the goal now is to make English part of your everyday life, not just a subject you study. Let's begin with attention. Your attention decides what your brain learns. Whatever you focus on becomes stronger. If you always focus on your mistakes, your brain remembers mistakes. If you focus on your progress, your brain remembers success. So choose your focus carefully. When you practice English, pay attention to the things you do right. Notice when a sentence comes out easily. Notice when you understand a new word without translation. Smile when these moments happen. They are signs of growth. This positive attention creates a feedback loop. Your brain says, "Oh, this feels good. Let's do more." That's how confidence grows naturally. Now let's talk about consistency. Consistency means doing something again and again, even when you don't feel motivated. In psychology, this is called habit memory. When you repeat an action at the same time every day, your brain starts doing it automatically. At first, you must push yourself, but after some time, it becomes easy, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone. That's the power of habit. So, make English part of your routine. For example, listen to English while making breakfast. Read one paragraph before bed. Talk to yourself in English on the way to work. These small, simple actions are stronger than one big study session once a week, because your brain learns better from short, frequent contact. Next, let's explore mental flexibility. Fluency is not only about fast speaking, it's also about being flexible when things go wrong. Sometimes you forget a word or make a mistake. That's okay. Flexibility means continuing the conversation anyway. In your first language, you do this all the time. You pause, change words, or laugh it off. You can do the same in English. The key is not to stop when something goes wrong. If you forget a word, explain it another way. If you pronounce something wrong, correct it gently and move on. Fluency means staying relaxed even when things are not perfect. Now, let's talk about self-trust. Trust is the heart of fluency. You must trust your own mind and voice. Many learners know English but don't trust their knowledge. They think, "Maybe this sentence is wrong," and stop themselves from speaking. But fluency grows when you trust what you already know. Even if you make mistakes, your brain will learn from real use. Trust creates action, and action creates growth. So next time you speak, remind yourself, "I know enough to communicate." Because you do. You know more than you think. Let's now explore how your environment shapes your fluency mindset. If you are surrounded by people who support your learning, you feel confident. But if people laugh or criticize you, your mind closes. So, protect your learning space. Choose people, videos, and materials that make you feel encouraged. If someone makes you feel small, ignore their opinion. You are the only person who knows your journey. If possible, find one friend or group where you can practice without judgment. Psychologists call this a safe space. A safe space helps your brain relax. And when you relax, you speak better. Now let's look at another important idea. Identity reinforcement. Every day tell yourself, "I am an English speaker." Not, "I'm trying to learn English," but "I am an English speaker who is improving." This small change in words changes how your brain sees you. Your identity controls your actions. When you believe you are an English speaker, you start acting like one. You start using English more, listening more, thinking more. Your habits follow your identity. This is why confidence is not something you wait for. You build it by acting as if you already have it. This is called the as-if principle. When you act as if you are fluent, your brain starts believing, and belief turns into real ability. Let's go deeper into motivation again. There will be days when you don't feel like learning. That's normal. Motivation is like the weather. It changes. But discipline is like the ground. It stays. Discipline means doing small things even when you don't feel like it. Tell yourself, I'll just do 5 minutes. Once you start, your brain will often want to continue. The hardest part is beginning. So don't wait for motivation. Create it through action. When you move, energy follows. Now, let's talk about self-dialogue. The way you talk to yourself inside your mind can build or break your fluency. If your inner voice is kind, you'll keep trying. If it's cruel, you'll stop. So train your self-talk to be supportive. If you make a mistake, don't say, I'm terrible. Say, okay, that was one mistake. Next time I'll do better. This helps your brain stay relaxed and open. Remember, learning happens fastest when your mind is calm. Now, let's talk about imagination and play. Fluency grows faster when you treat language like a game, not like a test. Games reduce pressure and increase focus, so make learning playful. You can play with words, create funny sentences, or make small challenges for yourself. For example, try to describe your room using only 5 words, or say 5 things you see right now. These small games train your brain to think in English without stress. Play creates freedom, and freedom is the foundation of fluency. Let's also talk about curiosity again. Fluent people are always curious. They ask, why is it said like this? Or, what's the difference between these 2 words? Curiosity keeps your mind active and interested. But don't worry about knowing everything. Even native speakers don't know every word. The goal is to stay curious, not to know it all. Now, let's move to emotional intelligence in language learning. When you communicate, you don't only use words, you also use tone, emotion, and body language. Being fluent means understanding and expressing feelings too. When you say, I'm fine, but your face looks sad, people feel a difference. So try to connect your emotions with your words. Practice speaking with feeling, happy, calm, surprised, curious. This makes your English more natural and alive. Your brain learns better when emotions are involved, so when you speak, feel what you say. This creates strong emotional memory and deep fluency. Now let's talk about mistakes from a new angle. Most people fear mistakes because they see them as proof of failure, but in psychology, mistakes are proof of growth. They show that you are stretching your limits. Think of mistakes like gym training for your brain. Every mistake builds strength. The more mistakes you make, the more experience you get. So instead of feeling shame, feel proud. Each mistake means you tried, and trying is what separates learners from dreamers. Now, let's discuss reflection. Reflection means looking back at your learning and noticing what worked and what didn't. Every week, ask yourself, what new words did I learn? What felt difficult? What did I enjoy most? This simple reflection trains your brain to learn smarter, not just harder. It helps you see patterns and choose better methods next time. Now let's go into energy again. Not just physical energy, but mental energy. To keep your brain fresh, you must also rest from information. Don't study too long without breaks. Your brain needs time to process. Try the 25-to-5 method. Study for 25 minutes, rest for 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, stretch, walk, or breathe deeply. When you return, your focus will double. This method helps your memory and keeps your mind clear. Now let's talk about acceptance. Accept where you are right now in your English journey. You may not be fluent yet, and that's okay. You are learning. You are on your way. Acceptance removes pressure and gives peace. From peace comes focus, and from focus comes growth. When you accept yourself, your learning becomes joyful instead of painful. Let's now explore the idea of thinking patterns. In English, thoughts move differently than in some other languages. So when you think in English, don't translate word by word. Try to think in small blocks or ideas. For example, instead of thinking, "In my language this means this," just think directly in English. "It's cold today," or "I like this song." This helps your brain build direct connections between ideas and English words. It takes time, but it works. Now let's talk about listening psychology. Many learners focus on speaking, but listening builds the foundation. When you listen often, your brain learns rhythm, tone, and natural grammar without effort. Even if you don't understand every word, keep listening. Your brain is always learning in the background. This is called passive learning. It's like how babies learn. They listen for months before speaking. So don't worry if you don't speak much at first. Listening prepares the mind for fluency. Now, let's talk about memory anchors. Anchors are small emotional connections that help you remember words. For example, if you learn the word rain while watching a movie where it's raining, your brain connects that feeling with the word. Next time you hear rain, the memory comes back easily. So, create anchors while learning. Use pictures, sounds, or feelings to remember words. For example, when you learn happy, think of your happiest memory. That emotional link makes the word stick. Now let's talk about time perspective. Many learners feel impatient. They want to speak fluently fast. But fluency grows over time, not overnight. So focus on direction, not speed. Even if your steps are small, if they're in the right direction, you'll reach fluency. Psychology shows that people who enjoy the process learn faster than those who only care about results. So, fall in love with the process. Enjoy listening, reading, repeating, even struggling. It's all part of growth. Now let's go deeper into calmness. When your body is calm, your brain works better. If you feel nervous, take a deep breath. Breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. Tell yourself, "I am safe, I am learning." Then speak. This small breathing trick helps your brain send calm signals to your body. Try it before every speaking practice. Let's now look at visual learning. Some people learn better through pictures, others through sounds, and others through movement. Find your strongest style. If you are visual, use images and colors. If you are auditory, listen more. If you are kinesthetic, move your body while learning. Walk, gesture, or write by hand. Knowing your learning style helps you study smarter and enjoy more. Now let's talk about long-term confidence. Confidence doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you feel fear, but speak anyway. Every time you act with courage, your confidence grows stronger. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the bigger it gets. So, don't wait for confidence. Practice it daily. Now, let's discuss gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that keeps your brain positive. Each day, say thank you for what you can already do in English. Say thank you for understanding, for learning, for every small step. Gratitude turns pressure into peace. It helps you stay happy on the journey. Let's also look at purpose. Purpose gives your learning meaning. Ask yourself again, why do I want to speak English? Keep that reason clear in your heart. When your reason is strong, challenges feel smaller. Purpose gives energy when motivation fades. Now let's move to the topic of self-expression. Fluency is not only about communication, it's about expressing who you are. When you speak English, you are sharing your ideas with the world. So, practice expressing yourself. Talk about what you love, what you think, what you dream. Fluency grows from expressing your true thoughts. Even if you use simple words, your honesty gives power to your speech. Now, let's talk about moment awareness. When you study or speak English, be fully present. Don't think about yesterday's mistake or tomorrow's test. Focus only on this moment. This mindfulness helps your brain absorb language faster. It keeps your mind free from anxiety. Before speaking, pause for 1 second, take a breath, and focus. Then speak slowly, clearly, and with confidence. Now, let's talk about inspiration. Surround yourself with things that inspire you in English. Songs, quotes, speeches, or people who make you feel motivated. Inspiration feeds your soul and keeps you connected to your goal. Whenever you feel tired, listen to something that reminds you why you started. That spark of inspiration will bring your energy back. Finally, let's end with a simple truth. Fluency is not a destination. It is a journey of growth, emotional, mental, and personal. You are not just learning English, you are becoming a new version of yourself, more confident, open, and expressive. So don't rush, don't compare, don't stop. Keep walking, keep speaking, keep believing. Your brain is powerful, your voice matters, and your journey is beautiful. Every mistake, every small effort, every word you speak brings you closer to fluency. Remember this always. Fluency begins in your mind, grows through your emotions, and shines through your voice. Keep learning, keep smiling, and keep growing with us here on English Polar. If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll receive notifications for more videos like this. Thank you for being with us, and never forget, you are already becoming fluent, step by step, every single day.